Speaking of players that don't always play the best defensive hockey, but a player that is certainly finding his rhythm on the offensive side of the ice, Erik Karlsson. It's been rocky, to say the least, since he joined the Pittsburgh Penguins. He had a tough season last year where there were glimpses of that offensive brilliance that everybody obviously raves about that's going to get him into the hallowed halls of the Hockey Hall of Fame one day, but a lot of it was few and far between. And it was not enough to make up for the defensive woes that Karlsson displayed all of last season and early in this season as well. Well, we're kind of starting to see why Dubas wanted Erik Karlsson now. If you look at the last 10 games, he has 9 points, 2 of those being goals, leads the team in scoring chances by a large margin. And the Penguins are outscoring opponents 13-8 at even strength when he's on the ice. Now, as always, there is a trade-off with Erik Karlsson. And I understand that some people don't like that. No matter how good the trade-off is in the offensive side of the ice, there is a trade-off. I told you that he's leading the Penguins in scoring chances for. He's also leading the Penguins in scoring chances against when on the ice at 5-on-5. Also, by a very wide margin, he has allowed, when on the ice, 113 scoring chances in the last 10 games, which is 26 more than the second highest player on the Penguins. So you got a lot of good, you got a lot of bad. But the question that I have for you, Horwat, is this the best version of Erik Karlsson that we are going to see? And if so, is it enough to justify the trade that has been criticized for over a calendar year?
I feel like we had this exact conversation last season, by the way.
We did, just late last year.
Yeah, just the idea of, is Erik Karlsson finally coming around to playing his game with the new team? How many? What was that number you said there? How many scoring chances against?
113 in the last 10 games. And it's not just him. It's when he's on the ice at 5-on-5. The Penguins have given up 113. But again, you can attribute it to him whenever it's 26 more than second place.
That's just hilarious because the Penguins have given up in total 152 goals. I get this.
In the last 10 games.
Right. But
yeah.
I'm kind of trying to put the perspective on of that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit. We're having the same conversation again of, hey, he's finally coming around to playing the way he should whenever the Penguins got him for the price they paid for it. I've been saying from the beginning it was a good deal to make, regardless of how Karlsson, quote unquote, performs. The Penguins shed a ton of cap in some way, shape, or form, aside from getting a $10 million player. They were able to essentially lighten the load and free up spaces for other players because they sent out a bunch of names. I'll bring in just one. In total, I mean, I'd say it was still worth it. And as long as he can hit these offensive numbers and he can be this great offensive mind, there's no way that this is a negative move for the Penguins still. You say what you want defensively, but that's what Marcus Pettersson was able to make up for all of last year. I get this year's a bit different, but at the same time, no matter what's going on and who's playing essentially what position or style of play, if the Penguins are winning, who really cares? They all say it's winning will pretty much mend every fence. Winning will make you forget every contract number you have on the books. I mean, if the Penguins continue to win, I don't think too many people will care about certain defensive mistakes or lapses from Erik Karlsson. I mean, those numbers are staggering, the scoring chances against, but it's it should weigh itself out. You know, the Penguins knew what they were getting. Kyle Dubas knew what he was getting in Erik Karlsson. He knew he wanted him in Toronto, and he managed to get him in Pittsburgh. So now it's, you know what you have. He's going to put up numbers offensively. You got to make sure there's someone back defensively to take care of him. And heck, goaltending stepping up a bit too could help. But as long as the Penguins are winning, I don't think too many people care overall.
Yeah, all in all, I'm going to say it's enough. If he plays the way that he's been playing, I understand. Again, there is that trade-off, and you have to eat it. And it's not fun, but at the same time, whenever you see him making plays like he did on Sunday, whenever he danced around Jordan Martinook and then set up Michael Bunting for that goal, which is a play that very few players in this league can make, whenever he took that slap shot to tie the game in the third period, that's the other side of this. That is the side that the Penguins didn't see enough of last year. If you look at Erik Karlsson over the last 10 games, the frequency of his what the F plays are increasing. Now, there is how the F did he do that, which is what we saw on Saturday. Like, how did he pull this off? And there's why the F did he do that, which is the defensive lapses, the turnovers, the times where you're saying, man, this guy should not be labeled as a defenseman in any way, shape, or form. But the frequency of both of those is rising. I think whenever you have that, especially at 5-on-5, that's the trade-off the Penguins bargained for whenever they brought him in. That's what the Penguins want out of Erik Karlsson. They don't want him to play conservatively so he doesn't give up the big defensive laps, because if he's doing that, he's a non-factor in the offensive zone, and then it's pointless. Then it's worthless. So they want him to take these chances. They want him to play at this high pace, this high-risk level, and I think it's starting to pay off a little bit more for him over the last 10 games. If he can maintain it in the second half, the Penguins will be better off, especially with him producing crazy offense at 5-on-5 like he has been. And then you have Letang and Grzelcyk, who have been stepping up on the power play, which is why it's a top 5 unit right now in the NHL. If the Penguins keep that kind of structure and can start to build on the back end with hopefully Pettersson kind of breaking out of this kind of mediocre type of season that he's had, with Owen Pickering continuing to take steps forward, hopefully with P.O. Joseph getting more and more comfortable in his second stint with the team, I think you're looking at the blue line as still a work in progress, still not one of the better units in the NHL, but considering where they were at the beginning, I think you look at that unit as one that has taken so many steps forward that it actually gives you a shot at having a above average defensive unit when all things are considered.